water cooler. You know, that is just discussion. You can't be a whole lot of for a chit chat.
I didn't write it down. Yeah, oh, thank you. I'm gonna write it down. Might come over here.
Pretty awesome. I wanted to talk with you, I just never got a chance. I apologize.
Possible language for the committees.
Even, but literally, yeah, $50 because they didn't have another one. So, perfect. That's it.
Now, number 2 on the hit parade.
Yes.
All set.
All set.
All right. I call this meeting to order, and let's do the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I suggest an amendment of our agenda to have approval of the agenda on the agenda.
Yes.
So, if that's okay with everyone, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed? It's approved. Next step is public comments. Any public comments? Ms. Swan?
Penny Swan, Ward 4. I guess I'm confused with Mr. Richardson and others saying there's misinformation out here about the officers' compensation. The video's out there. That's not misinformation. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Scott Sessions, Ward
Mayor
3.
Sessions?
Yes. I oppose the increase for the mayor and the council, so.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, yep.
Any other comments? Okay, no other comments? Close the public session or public comment session. And let's address this mayor and council compensation issue. We just received a memo from the city attorney, like what, 20 minutes ago, I guess. And what I want to do, just to, so that we all familiarize ourselves with it, to read some of it. Some of it is part of the statute which talks about how the commission members are appointed and things like that. I'll just skip that stuff, but just try to get to the meat of it. And if I leave anything out that you regard as relevant, then just mention it to me as I get through talking about it. Background, on Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, the City Officers Compensation Commission met. During the meeting, a member of the commission made a motion that the commission set the salary for the city's mayor at $25,000 per year and set the salary for each of the members of the city council for $10,000 per year. Motion was seconded by another member of the commission. After discussion, a roll call vote of the members of the commission was taken and the motion was approved by a 3-2 vote. On Friday, April 11th, 2025, the commission filed minutes of this meeting with the Hillsdale City Clerk. Minutes of the meeting recited the making of the motion to set the salary for the mayor and city council members, that the motion was seconded and the motion was approved. After the minutes of the commission's April 3rd, 2025 meeting were filed with the city clerk, the chair of the commission apparently requested that the city clerk provide public notice of another meeting of the commission for the stated purpose of revisiting the issue of the salaries of the mayor and the members of the city council. After this request was made, I was contacted by the city manager who was concerned about whether the commission had the authority to revisit the officer salary issue after it had already approved a motion to set the salaries and had filed minutes evidencing that approval with the city clerk. I reviewed the issue and opined that under the circumstances, I did not believe that the commission had the legal authority to reconvene to revisit its approval of the motion to set the annual salaries of the city's officers at $25,000 for the mayor, $10,000 for each of the city council members. I further recommended that the issue be placed on the agenda for consideration by the city council. The purpose of this memorandum is to provide you with the basis for my opinion and to suggest a way to resolve the issue in a manner that presents the least risk to the council and to the city, yet may still provide the ability to achieve the result desired by the chair of the commission, should that be the ultimate will of the council. Questions presented. 1. Did the commission's approval of the motion to set the salaries of the mayor and the city council members at its April 3rd, 2025 meeting constitute the making of a determination of those salaries pursuant to applicable Michigan law? Second question. Does the commission have the authority to reconvene to reconsider its approval motion setting the salaries of the city official officers after filing the minutes of the meeting at which the motion was approved with the city clerk? 3. What potential negative consequences would be implicated if the commission were to reconvene to reconsider its approved motion setting the salaries of the city officers after filing minutes of the meeting at which the motion was approved with the city clerk? Now, this follows, he has the applicable law. Let me just take a look at what we want to do. There's a charter position. It was established in 1972. And it was created, it says a local officers compensation commission is created, which shall determine the salaries of each local elected official. And then it goes on to talk about the numbers of people who will be serving, etc. And then it says in number B, or letter B, the commission shall determine the salary of each local elected official. The determination shall be the salary unless the legislative body, by resolution adopted by 2/3 of the members elected to and serving on the legislative body, rejects it. The determination of the commission shall be effective 30 days following its filing with the city clerk unless rejected by the legislative body. If the determination is rejected, the existing salary shall prevail. The expense allowance or reimbursement paid to the city elected officials in addition to salary shall be for expenses incurred in the course of city business and accounted for to the city. Don't need that. Then there's a business of details about details about how the ordinance will work and so on. It doesn't make any difference there, I don't think. Anything that is relevant in that further section. Then let's see. It talks about the purpose of the Officers Compensation Commission. Talks about its composition, appointments, what the meetings will be. I don't think we need to worry about that. And then the section 2-134, determination of salaries. Generally, the Officers Compensation Commission shall determine the salaries of all elected officials of the city, which determination shall be the salaries for such elected officials unless the legislative body, by resolution adopted by 2/3 of the members elected and serving on the legislative body, rejects them. It's basically repeating what was there before. So here's Mr. Thompson's analysis and discussion of all this. As noted above, the authority of the City Officers Compensation Commission is derived from state statute, and as such, the Commission only has those powers specifically conferred on it by MCL 117(5)(c). This is made abundantly clear by the statements in the introductory paragraph of that ordinance, or that statute, indicating that a city may create a local officers compensation commission by adopting an ordinance to, quote, establish the procedure described in this section, and that this ordinance shall, and the italicized shall, provide the following. Pursuant to that law and also HMC 2-134 parenthesis A, the commission shall determine the salaries of the elected officials of the city. Pursuant to those statutes, related statutes, the determination is to be made by a concurrence of at least a majority of the members of the commission that appointed and served. Once the determination of the salaries is made by the concurrence of the majority of the members of the commission, their determination of the salaries shall become the salaries of the city's elected officials unless the city council rejects the commission's determination within 30 days of the date the commission's determination is filed with the city clerk. He gives the site. It is my understanding that the chair of the commission has suggested that the commission has not yet made its determination of the salaries of the city's elected officials and that the determination has not been filed with the city clerk. To the extent that the chair of the commission has taken either or both of these positions, they do not appear to be supported by the plain language of the statute and the actions taken by the commission. The word determination is not specifically identified in the statute. As the Michigan Court of Appeals explained in Priority Health v. Commissioner of the Office of Financial and Insurance Services, the goal of statutory interpretation is to discern and give effect to the intent of the legislature from the statute's plain language, and he cites the case. If the meaning of the statute is clear and unambiguous, then judicial construction to vary the statute's plain meaning is not permitted. Quote, the legislature is presumed to have intended the meaning it plainly expressed, and gives the cite. Also, unless explicitly defined in a statute, every word or phrase of the statute should be accorded its plain, I think he says plain, not plan, plain and ordinary meaning, taking into account the context in which the words are used. Gives some cites. Because undefined terms must be given their plain and ordinary meanings, it is appropriate to consult a dictionary to define terms, and gives the cite of that case. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary, online dictionary, includes among its definitions of the word determination the act of deciding definitely and firmly. Given the common definition of the word determination and affording the provisions of MCL 117.5C, parenthesis B, their plain and ordinary meaning, it is difficult to fathom how one could conclude that the Commission's actions at its April 3rd, 2025 meeting, where a member made a specific motion that was seconded and approved by a majority of the members of the Commission to set the salary of the mayor at $25,000 and the salary of the members of the City Council at $10,000, each did not constitute a determination of the salaries of those elected officials under the statute and city ordinance. And he has a footnote. If one has any doubt about the intention of the members of the commission with regard to the motion and the vote approving it, I recommend that they view the video recording of the meeting, particularly the portion where the motion was made, seconded, and approved. Back to the main text. Given the opposition to the commission's determination that was expressed at the city council meeting on April 7th, 2025, one can understand why those members of the commission who voted to approve the motion to set the salaries may want to reconvene to revisit the issue. Unfortunately, MCL 117.5C does not contain any provision that would allow the commission to reconvene after making their salary determination, nor does it contain any provision that would allow the commission to revoke or rescind a salary determination once it has been made. Again, since the Commission's powers are derived entirely from the statute, and since the statute does not expressly or impliedly give the Commission the power or authority to revisit its determination of salaries once made, there's no basis upon which to conclude that the Commission has such an authority. One could, of course, choose to take the position that while the statute does not authorize the Commission to reconvene to reconsider its determination, there's also nothing within the statute that prohibits the Commission from doing so. If the Commission were to take this position and choose to reconvene on its own, thereafter approving a motion to set the salaries of the city's elected officials at some amount other than what was approved by the April 3rd meeting, the Commission would create the potential for an untidy mess. In this regard, we must consider the fact that the Commission filed the minutes of its April 3rd meeting with the city clerk on April 11th. Those minutes contain an express indication that a member of the Commission moved to determine the salaries of the city's elected officials. The motion was supported by another member of the Commission, and the motion was approved by a majority of the members of the Commission. Pursuant to these statutes, the City Council has 30 days from the date of the Commission's determination of the salaries is filed with the city clerk, within which to to reject the determination, or the salaries will automatically take effect. If the commission were to reconvene, make a determination of salaries that is different from the determination made at its April 3rd meeting, and file that new determination with the city clerk, someone may choose to mount a legal challenge to the propriety of the commission's action on the basis that the commission did not have the authority to revisit their original determination. If that were to occur, and if the challenge were sustained by a court, and for the reasons cited above, there is a reasonable chance that it would be, then the commission's second determination would presumably be deemed void. This would leave the city with the determination of salaries from the April 3rd commission meeting that would not have been rejected by the city council within 30 days from the date of its filing. On the other hand, if the commission were to reconvene, make a new salary determination, file that determination with the city clerk, you would have two different determinations sitting in the clerk's office. While the commission might move to rescind its April 3rd determination, given the lack of any provision in the statute giving the authority to do so, legal uncertainty as to which determination is the legally proper determination, and again, absent affirmative action by the council to reject the April 3rd determination, there would be the possibility that a court could determine that the applicable salaries would be those set forth in the April 3rd determination. Conclusion and recommendation. Based on the plain language of MCL 117.5C, there is every likelihood that a court would determine that the commission's approval of the motion to set the salary of the mayor at $25,000, to set the salary of the members of the city council at $10,000, constituted the salary determination of the commission, which determination was filed with the city clerk on April 11, 2025. Similarly, since the statute does not expressly or impliedly empower the commission to reconvene after it has made its determination and filed it with the clerk, or to rescind its determination after it has been made and filed with the clerk, it's likely that the salaries contained in the commission's April 3rd, 2025 determination would be deemed to be the applicable salaries of the mayor and city council members unless the determination is rejected by the city council on or before May 11th, 2025. Given the foregoing, the easiest way to address the issue and create as little confusion and uncertainty as possible would be to move forward based on the assumption that the commission's approval of the motion of April 3rd and subsequent filing of the minutes evidencing the approval of that motion with the city clerk on April 11th constitutes the determination of the salaries by the commission. The city council can then either allow those salaries to take effect or take action by a 2/3 vote to reject the determination within 30 days of April 11th. If the council were to reject the determination, and if the council were so inclined, it could then direct the commission to reconvene to consider making a new salary determination. Footnote, the commission would just need to make sure that it's reconvened within 45 days of April 3rd, 2025. While there still would be nothing in the statute that provides any authority for the commission to reconvene at that point, if the commission were to make a new determination that was subsequently challenged in court and voided, under those circumstances, the salaries would simply revert back to their current amounts, rather than potentially reverting to the amounts set forth in the motion approved by the commission on April 3rd, which would leave the city in no worse position other than incurring any costs associated with defending against the legal challenge. End of memorandum. Do I get a raise for reading all that? Anyway.
And this will
Yeah. Okay, so, and we also have this document that,
Yeah, that is subsequent to Mayor Pro Tem Palladino's suggestion about possibly revoking the ordinance that's in place that established current salaries and going back to what language is in the charter. So this is kind of the process that we would have to go through to achieve that.
okay, first of all, any comments on this memorandum?
Just one thing, just for the public, it will be in the council packet this evening.
And you can read it for yourselves. It'll all be fully documented for your inspection. Okay. Any comments from committee members on this?
Well, I guess I have a question, because I'm not sure how, how the whole commission got formed. I mean, did we always have one? 'Cause I gotta be honest, I don't recall. I mean, I know by law we need to have one.
Yeah, all of the terms of the members had expired. That was actually a structural question. When you first put these members on, you're supposed to put them on staggered terms.
That's what I was gonna get, that's exactly.
But we've lost all the members, so
Well, can you sign, you got a year term?
Right. maybe just based on the order that we
Did we
appointed
do
them.
that? Did we do that? Is what I'm asking.
And not explicitly.
Okay.
It said you're supposed to do that when you first create the commission, but we were essentially recreating the commission that had been out of existence for,
So, but again,
10
when you
years.
assign Commissioner A, you get 1 year, you get 2 years, you get 3
I
years.
think we should probably have Katie do that just based on the order in which we
What I'm doing,
appointed them.
if we didn't do that, is the commission even valid? That's my, I mean, that's a Tom question, but is it a valid commission, because it wasn't structured according to the charter?
And we need another legal opinion.
Yeah, I know.
I certainly don't know the answer.
I don't either.
Not an attorney.
The members first appointed, one shall be appointed for terms of 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. So they're obviously not first appointed, but functionally,
Well, when you, I mean, you're just chicken before the egg type of thing.
yeah.
When you first created it, I mean, you created it the second time, the first time.
Right,
Does
exactly.
that make sense? So, I mean, I was,
Well, that's an interesting point. I think we just need to get
Yeah.
a legal opinion on it. Meanwhile, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
this
right.
issue on the table. So, yes, sir.
Just one point I wanted to make, I did, hear from, former mayor Greg,
Bailey?
Bailey, yes. And he said that, the last time the commission met, he was actually on it, and it was, 2015 is what he indicated to me.
Okay.
So that was the last time that it had
10
met,
years.
Yeah.
because I started in July of 15, and so it met before,
Oh, yeah,
after
that's
that
right
first.
when you start, yeah.
So you say 2010, is what you said?
15.
15.
So sort of the problem there was we lost the institutional knowledge about how this committee should be run, and yeah, it was all new members. Yeah, the only thing that stuck out to me as interesting was that he thought that they could possibly reconvene. I mean, he's not saying this definitively, but they could possibly reconvene after we reject the determination on Monday. I'm a little bit skeptical of that based on the reading of the statute, but it also sounds like Tom is a little bit skeptical of that based on the reading of the statute, so, I think I would prefer that they not reconvene period until 2027.
Let's, I think we should just put it up for a vote at the next council meeting. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Do we want to make any recommendation to the council? I think that's within our purview as an OMG committee. If we did, I would recommend simply staying with what we have for now. And, you know, because and to your question of going to the $10, the original
Mhm.
thing, I guess we'd have to go back to the commission to do that.
Either to the commission or by repealing the ordinance, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just think, you know,
That's too many.
we might as well just do that. That would be my recommendation. I don't know how you gentlemen.
I definitely don't think we should go back to the commission. It seems like once they make a determination,
Yeah.
their
Right.
time frame is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I mean, the statute is silent, but I don't know that it's worth any risk there.
Yeah.
So what you would do is, you would, if you just reject their determination, you would need 6 council members. If you reject it, then it stays as is.
Mhm.
Right,
Right.
right. That's our recommendation.
Yeah, that would be our recommendation. Do we need a motion for that, or might as well, I move that we do that. Any second? Second from Councilman Stuchel, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, does that take care of that?
I think so. I was just suggesting also that we consider repealing it and going back to the charter. It really seems like the statute should have been written that you need 2/3 of council to approve a salary determination. It just strikes me as very odd that you only need possibly 3 members of council to increase the council's salary.
I agree with that, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that struck me as, that really blindsided me, actually, because I hadn't reviewed any of this stuff beforehand, and I just thought, you know, we would have to have a majority.
Super majority for something
Yeah.
like a salary, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of the opposite of what you.
Yes, exactly. It could be
Yes.
the opposite of what it is. And, so anyway, we could discuss that at the council meeting perhaps, but I just wanna keep it clean.
Yeah.
Just do this, just do this at our meeting.
So for your information, what we have in the packet is, so we have a summary, we have Tom's memo,
Right.
we have a resolution. It was one that we found a short resolution, basically rejecting the determination. Council can use that or amend it, but it should be pretty clean. The city clerk had found an example that we used. And do we have anything else in that item, Sam, attached?
We have the spreadsheet
Okay,
from Three Rivers.
so we did have, and I can get, you guys just copies of it. But this was a comparable that, Sam put together from, just for your reference, and it's gonna be in the packet, so it's just public, but it shows you what other communities provide in comparison to us, for size and, just for your
The
reference.
closest one is Jackson, for 11,000 for commissioner. And Jackson obviously has a population of 31,309, so that's a little bit bigger job than this that we have. And we're a little bit, I think we're about this, it looks like we're kind of in the ballpark of most of these places.
Yeah.
Um,
But these are all, mayor, commissioner.
Right.
Or not,
I see
city
the
manager.
commissioner pay and
cities.
commissioners.
What's
The interesting
the
thing is
size?
that for Jackson, the mayor's pay is 15,000, not 30,000.
Right.
So it's half of what our commission was recommending. So, I mean, there's certainly no justification for this move. In other words, if we're going to go by what the regional consensus is, so to speak.
So you would have the highest paid mayor, right?
Yeah. So anyway, that's good. I'm glad Sam dug that out. for us.
That's good, it's good information.
That's all I have.
Okay.
That's good.
So, now, can we move on to the next thing, number 5, which is procedures for calling committee meetings. And this was something that city manager Mackey brought up. Would you like to comment on it, I guess is the.
Well, it kind of goes along with, just the council committees and the council rules of procedure. It was, we should have kind of a uniform procedure, whether city council assigns something to the committee or basically authorize the committee to take action or review something. That's kind of how the charter language approaches that, or and what those specific guidelines would be. Mayor Tom Palladino put this suggested changes together that you have in front of you.
Okay, I'll read that, so for the benefit of our audience here. This is Councilman Palladino's suggested language with respect to this issue. The council may establish or amend the time and place for regular standing committee meetings by resolution. Committee chair may reschedule a meeting with the consent of a quorum and public notice at least 18 hours in advance. If no regular meeting schedule is established or a scheduled meeting is canceled, the council, mayor, or committee chair may call a special meeting within at least 18 hours public notice. The committee chair must obtain the consent of a quorum of committee members, except in urgent cases where consent may be ratified at the meeting. If no chair is appointed, a majority of committee members may call a meeting with the same notice requirements. The committee chair shall prepare a written agenda, including items referred to him by the council, the mayor, committee members, or the city manager. The chair may include public suggestions at his discretion. The standing committee may investigate, deliberate, and recommend actions on matters referred to it by the council, the mayor, city manager, or the committee chair. In cases of contested jurisdiction between two or more committees, the mayor shall determine jurisdiction subject to council approval. The council may, however, refer a matter to more than one committee and request recommendations from each. Now, I should point out that the finance committee always meets before the council meetings, so that's a little bit of an exception to all of this stuff. We could have a special meeting of the finance committee, but, and if we agree to this, this would come into play. But generally speaking, there's no real agenda. Everybody knows what the agenda is anyway, so.
Do you know if those 6:30 meetings are established by resolution or just sort of tradition?
I guess it's been tradition
Okay.
because we modify them, like Mondays is gonna be at 6 because we're gonna talk about the property.
Okay,
So it
so,
was done at the public meeting.
okay, that was the purpose of
It
the
works.
first
I mean, I've been on
slide,
the
right?
commission for years and it seems to do just fine. Mr. Jack over there in the lane has been monitoring those meetings for a number of meetings. I haven't heard any complaints from him about the schedule of the finance committee. So occasionally he enriches our discourse with other comments. All right, so what else? What else? Any comments on this suggested language from Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm not opposed to the language as presented. My only concern would be in some cases, if it's a specific committee that needs a department head or myself there, say, if it's a short notice meeting, we might not be able to be there if we have family commitments or other
Well,
obligations.
I would think that who's ever calling that meeting knows they need a department head and then touch that base before they call a meeting.
Yes, that's
I mean, I'm making
all
that
I
assumption.
want.
Well, how much time do you think would be reasonable? Well, this is 18 hours here.
That's just the minimum under.
18 hours is
right?
the minimum,
Yeah.
that's right, for posting a meeting.
Yeah.
I would say that, typically people have appointments, for the week coming up. Like, for example, we had one recently that we wanted to set up on Friday for like Wednesday or Tuesday, I don't remember exactly. And, Kim should have been there, or should have been one of the department heads there, and she had an appointment and could not be there. So, if she could have, it wouldn't have been a problem, but in that particular case, she was not available. So, we could try to do our best,
But it's just common courtesy, before you schedule a meeting, touch base with people you need there. When's a good time, and that's what we do all the time. And then we all kind of zero on a date. And the only issue is it just has to be 18 hours and no notice.
Yeah, because it's like if Jason or I, and we're typically available for things, we don't mind, filling in and doing short notice, but, there could be something,
So this is okay.
It's okay, we just need to be cognizant of that there could be.
Okay.
I mean, the 18 hours is just a minute, we have to hit at least 18 hours.
Yes, that is a post.
Should we,
We can make it 24, 36, we have to do it 18.
should we just say in regular circumstances, we should do a week?
That'll be.
Yeah, that would be good, I think.
Okay, so a minimum 18 hours public notice, and then, I'll write something, but a week under ordinary circumstances or something like that.
Sure. I mean, the only thing, you can do it too early out. Oh, something came up, I can't make it.
Yeah, that's true.
That happens.
Why don't we do it the reverse?
I think we can.
Put the week under ordinary circumstances first, but at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that would be, that would make more sense, since that's supposed to be the sort of ordinary standard. Okay, so, any other discussion on this?
Yeah, cities do it differently. Some cities have the committee chair be the only one that can call it. I just figured why not be inclusive? The manager can call it, the committee chair, or the council as a whole, or the mayor.
Okay, so, shall we, put this in the council packet for the next meeting for deliberation, if not necessarily action?
Yes, we'll need to add it because I think the packet's probably been
Right.
sent out, but we can add it on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion, first of all?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? None? All right. That takes care of what we were going to do with this meeting, as I understand it.
Can I say something?
Oh, well, we want, you're not on the agenda, but that's okay, Jack. What would you like to say? I hate to stifle a citizen of this community.
I wanted to comment on the people that are on that compensation committee had to have been notified in some order. Either they were sent an email or something. Someone appointed them in order or asked them to be on the committee. So there's your order, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
So there's no question, that's out there, it's just, and that's the way it should be to match up with your charter then, so they're in order,
Yeah.
according to what you said.
Yeah, I think that's the most.
So that's good. Thank you, Jack.
If they're all notified by email, they all at the same time, would it be when they opened it up?
Now, city official Sam Fry has a comment.
I was just gonna add, just to clarify, Katie, our city clerk, did say the terms are staggered based on who was appointed first.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that has already been taken care of in order of your appointments.
So they're all set then, so it is legit.
So like,
Shall we add that to?
Yeah, I'll put it in notes.
To the thing, yeah. And, I don't know about the minutes for this meeting, should we, I mean, we can't approve them now, but should we add like a draft minutes of the meeting to the packet? If you can, I don't know, can you generate that?
I'm not
It's
confident
a
I can
holiday
do that,
weekend,
but
and
I've
I'm
got-
a supreme
Relay
sacrifice.
what we discussed.
Holy weekend. It is, I've been doing my sacrifice, trust me.
well, Josh, if you wanna update your, that, we could,
Yeah, we can certainly put
Okay.
this in.
your language.
So you wanna add the minutes to the meeting? I mean, add like we do, they will be submitted, they'll be added.
It's up to you, if you don't really wanna do it, it's Easter, I understand.
Yeah.
I just decided to jerk your chain.
It works.
Otherwise, you can verbally, like, first one, tell them what your recommendation was, and then it's all included.
Okay.
As, Mayor Pro Tem stated, then that, since the committee is in place, that they, the next time they would potentially meet would be, 2027, after the general election in fall, so.
Okay. So any other words of wisdom from my colleagues? If not, I propose to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know
None?
about that, Clement.
Thank you for